Joan Quinn Profiles. As an editor for Andy Warhol's Interview, the Los Angeles Herald-Examiner, LA Style, and Detour magazines, Joan covered the social set, the Hollywood hotshots, the international art scene, the mysteries of food, the excitement of travel, and the fabulous world of fashion. Joan continues to find creative people on the cutting edge who make things happen. Here's Joan Agajanian Quinn.
Hi, I'm Joan Quinn, and welcome to the Joan Quinn Profiles. Our guests waiting to be profiled are costume designer Daniel Orlandi and musician Oswaldo Bernard. Emmy Award winner Daniel Orlandi graduated from Carnegie Mellon University with a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Drama. Were you planning to be an actor, Daniel?
Oh, no, never. I never wanted to be an actor. I always wanted to be a set designer, costume designer, and lighting designer.
And you were taking it in the drama?
And I majored in that, yes.
In the drama
Yes,
division?
that was my major.
Well, did you know what to do to be a costume designer?
That's why I went to school.
That's pretty tough, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's something that I wanted to do.
And how'd you break in?
How did I break in? I think the connections that I made at school, my school friends that are still sort of my best friends even now, were the ones who got me my first jobs.
And where were they? In
first
Pittsburgh?
in New York.
Oh, in New York.
And then soon after, I moved out to Los Angeles.
And when you came out to Los Angeles, did you have any credentials? I mean, how did you go up?
I had worked for public television in New York as a set decorator with a group of Carnegie Mellon graduates on these mini-series that they were doing in New York. Well, although we were never in New York. And we decided after finishing the last one, let's move to Los Angeles.
Oh, you came out as a group.
We came out as three of us, moved out here together.
And when I met you, you were working for Bob Mackie.
And that was one of my first jobs that I got.
And how did you get that?
Through someone who I had gone to college with. Got me in there for 2 days, and I stayed for 8 years.
And what did Bob need when you went?
I just happened to go to work for 2 days because he was doing a big Las Vegas show and they needed some help doing crafts projects. And this friend of mine said, would you like to come in and do that? And I was like, oh no, I don't want to do that. And he said, oh please, we just have this delivery. And I did it, and Bob just happened to be looking for a new assistant.
Well, what's a craft project?
We're making it wasn't sewing. It was we were making Las Vegas. We were linking gold coins together to make little G-strings for topless dancers.
But did you know what to do with him when you went? Did you know?
Oh, to be his assistant?
Yeah.
No, he asked me. I brought in my portfolio. We talked. He wanted an assistant, and he hired me with with almost no experience, and luckily there were people that worked in that office that would just guide me through and say, okay, this is what you should do now, this is what you should do now, and I'm so grateful to those people because I learned so much.
Were you a costumer then? Is that what they call it?
No, I was the assistant costume designer.
Oh, you were assistant?
An assistant costume designer.
Well, tell me what a costumer is.
A costumer, I'm a member of the Guild, the Costume Designers Guild of America.
Yes.
And we are the people that design the look of the film. And the costumers are the people that do the day-to-day maintenance of the clothes, organize the clothes, dress the actors, undress the actors, make sure that they're clean.
They don't have to design. They
don't have to design. Sometimes they might have to do quick fittings, uniform fittings, but the costume designer and the assistant costume designer are the people that are responsible for the design.
Well, Bob was doing a lot of TV then. Were
Bob
you
was
working
doing a lot.
on those?
Well, you know what? The first job I did with him was he was designing a movie called Pennies from Heaven with Steve Martin, and that was the first project that I did with him.
And what'd you do?
I was the assistant costume designer.
But did you help design?
Bob is an expert and knows how to design and doesn't need any help in that area, but I help facilitate his vision for the film.
But in the meantime, you've made so many films yourself. You've done so much film work. What is easier for you, TV or film?
Oh, I think film is much easier.
And why do you think
Because
that?
in a film, you're really answering to the director. In television, you're answering to producers, the networks. In films, you're really answering, it's a director's medium, and the director is in charge. And you're working, of course, with the actors and the producers and the studio, but the director always, in the case of the films that I've worked on, the director has the final say.
Well, you've worked with a lot of the same directors,
Yes.
like Schumacher
Yes,
and
Ron Howard.
yes. Do they keep calling you back?
Hopefully.
No, is it because of the relationship that you have?
I hope so. You try and build relationships and find people that you are in sync with, that you enjoy working with, that do projects that interest you.
The TV project that you did with David Copperfield was an Emmy Award-winning show. How did you work with David Copperfield right on, face to face?
Oh, definitely. It was the first job that I did after leaving Bob Mackie as his assistant. And friends of mine, the friends that I moved out here with, were doing the sets, and they said, he needs a costume designer, come and do it.
Boy, that was a really great bond, wasn't it?
It's a great bond that you have with the people that I go to college with, that I still work with to this day.
So that's a really good thing for people to go to a school, if they want to do a certain thing, to go to a school and to stay friends with their classmates.
Oh my God, and when you start working, be nice to all the PAs, because they're going to be hiring you in 5 years, because they'll be producing or directing.
Isn't that amazing?
And it's really the truth.
What did they look for in the clothes that Copperfield wore?
Well, he wanted to be modern and a little edgy, and clothes for the TV special, he wanted them also to be able to tour with, so they had to be quite durable.
Did you made them all? Is that what
Yes,
you do?
we would make almost all of his clothes. We would buy things, some pants and jackets, but all of his dancers and specialty things all had to be designed and made.
Well, the other thing that I came in contact with you is when you were working on the Da Vinci Code.
Yes.
We were in London. You were in London making that. When I saw the final movie, your name was so big on the screen. How did you feel about seeing that?
It was very exciting to work on a film like that, and to have your name there up on the screen.
And it's so big.
It was nice. It was big. I like that.
You were in London. I saw you in London.
Yes.
Where else were you making that film?
We prepped the whole movie and filmed most of the movie in London. We filmed in Paris at the Louvre, which is an incredible experience to be in the Louvre Museum by yourself at night. Walking through. The first night they were just shooting these plate shots for some of the special effects things, and there were no costumes involved, and I thought, I'm going anyway. And just walked through the galleries.
All alone?
All alone. And it was an amazing, at 4 o'clock in the morning being in the Louvre by yourself.
I think one of the great stories that I heard you tell was that you were using the Maurice Hotel, a 5-star hotel, as like a, what? Like
it was
a
where
storage?
we dressed the extras in the ballroom of the Maurice Hotel the first night of shooting in Paris, because we were shooting on the Rue de Rivoli, and it was like, wow, this is kind of nice.
I know that.
I guess this is going to be a nice production.
There were so many flashbacks. Did you actually do the costumes for you?
Thousands and thousands of costumes that we prepared, rented, made.
But you were in Europe. Did you rent them in Europe?
We rented quite a bit of costumes in Italy. And
is that a good source? Or
yes, there are beautiful costume houses in Italy, in Rome, also in Spain. So we went to Spain and Rome, and but we had to make quite a bit. We had to make most of the Romans. We had to make all of our pagan priestesses, and they're very minimal in the movie. But you don't know, because they shot lots of close-ups, and we made beautiful animal masks for the pagan people, all out of vellum. They were really. It was a challenging, but it was exciting.
And to keep track of all of those,
it was fantastic.
You brought me a couple of pictures. One of the things that I wanted to ask you is, do you have a relationship with the actors that you're working with? Like, you work with Renee Zellweger and Jim Carrey and Tom Hanks and Robert De Niro. Do you talk with them like you're talking with me?
Well, sure, when you're talking about the movie and talking about their character and their costumes, it's a great... this is Renee in this movie Down with Love that I did. That was one of the most fun experiences of my life, in that we made it like one of those 60s Doris Day movies. It was all shot on sound stages. The actors all had dressing rooms, and we made all of the clothes absolutely authentically period clothes from 60s movies,
But
not
here-
60s life.
Here is your drawing.
Yes.
And that was the finished product, what we
Yes.
saw. And the swatches on the bottom.
Yes.
And so how long does it take to make something like this?
We made those clothes fairly quickly, and she had about 35 outfits that we made, everything, the gloves, the hats. It was really fun. The interesting thing is we made it like movie clothes, where the plaid, we embroidered the plaid on the outfit, so it matches all the way
Oh
around.
my gosh. And here's another one.
And then that was a scene where the girls come in, and
gonna
one
hold
has a
this
yellow
up
coat
too.
and one has a houndstooth coat, and they open their coats and they have the opposite on underneath. So it was sort of like a visual joke. And we wanted all the clothes to have that fun sort of Doris Day, 60s. I love that period, the early 60s. It's like the last time that clothes were really modern.
And you had so much fun
And
doing
we had
it.
so much fun.
So when you do something like this, it's just research. Where do you go?
Oh, well, the first place I go to is Western Costume Research Department. Bobby, that runs that's another picture from Down with Love. That's Ewan
this is-
McGregor and the stewardesses.
So you go to and I'm gonna
Western
turn
Costume,
this
and then this is Colin Farrell in a movie called Phone Booth, where he wears one costume through the whole film.
Oh, and how many of those did you make?
Well, we had a problem in that the suits were being made for us by Dolce & Gabbana, and they delivered the multiples on the last day.
And how many?
Well, but we didn't need them because we
you
had already
didn't?
shot the whole movie.
Oh, you're kidding,
We
on
shot the
11
whole movie in 11 days, which
that
was
was-
amazing.
Oh, that was fast.
And it's very interesting. As a costume designer in a movie like that, even though you might buy most of the clothes, you're still really working with the actor to find the character. It's a great experience. I especially love fitting with the actors and helping them find the character. In a movie like, I'm going to show you. Can I do that? Mm-hmm. This movie I did called Flawless with Robert De Niro and Philip Seymour Hoffman. You can flip the...
Yeah, I'll turn it this way.
and then Philip Seymour Hoffman as the drag queen across the hall. With Robert De Niro, he played this man who had a stroke, and I spent 5 days with Robert De Niro in the rehabilitation hospital to watch people. And it was an amazing experience to watch an actor that's so detail-oriented and wanted every single thing about his character
So
right.
you were both researching. De
Yes.
Niro was researching and you were
Yes.
researching as well.
And to see so that's the best thing about movies, is every movie that you do is completely different.
That's the best thing for you because you're so creative.
And you're learning something on every movie that you do.
Would you ever do anything else now? Would you go back would you want to direct? Would you want to do anything?
No, I don't think I'd like to direct.
I think it's great when somebody is talented and knows their business and they stay in their business and work the way you're doing.
I enjoy my job very much. I'm very fortunate and lucky to have worked on really interesting and varied projects, and
here you are.
And here I am.
Thank you, Daniel.
Oh, my pleasure.
It went so fast.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching this part of the Joan Quinn Profiles, and we'll be right back with Oswaldo Bernard. Hi, I'm Joan Quinn, and welcome back to the Joan Quinn Profiles. Musician, composer, trumpeter, Oswaldo Bernard was born and raised in Puerto Limon, Costa Rica. When he was 10 years old, the family moved to San Jose, where he attended the Conservatory de Castilla, which was an academy where they taught academics in the morning and the arts in the afternoon. And Oswaldo, when you were there, you joined a band.
Yes, I joined the marching band.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah, I started playing the cymbals and the big bass drum, you know.
Ah, was that easy, did you think?
Oh, it was very easy. It was natural. I have natural rhythm.
But the other thing that you have naturally is you have music in your family. Your grandmother was a musician.
My grandmother was a chapel master for the Catholic Church. So she played the organ.
Uh-huh.
You know, that little organ with the pedals on
Yeah. Did you
Yes.
learn how to play it?
Well, I had to learn by myself because I asked her to teach me. But she said, well, I'll start teaching you when you become 5 years old. And she died before I was 5. So I had to just play, you know, and pick out melodies and songs on my own.
Was it a natural for you?
It was natural, yes.
Did anyone else in your family play music?
Oh, yes.
Oh, they
yes.
did?
My father played the piano. My mother played the piano. See, in those days, there wasn't TV or, you know.
But you had to be talented. Even if, you know, you had instruments at home, you had to have some talent.
Well, I got a little bit of that.
When you got to, you went to the conservatory, the music conservatory at the university in Costa Rica, and you have a lot of formal training.
Yes, I do.
Which is surprising for someone who, you know, kind of just picks up the beat. So is that what lets you compose? I mean, that formal training?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, I have been arranging since I'm 15.
Oh.
Because we used to play the trumpet, me and my friends, the trombone and the saxophone, but we didn't have music to play. So I had to write. I played the guitar also a little bit, so for the harmonies and all that. And that's what helped me learn how to write and orchestrate for different instruments.
But did you know how to play all those instruments?
No.
You
no.
just picked it up?
Yeah, well, you know, they tell me you got to write in this key for the saxophone, this key for the trombone, and the piano and the guitar and the bass. I know that.
Oh, I don't know. I think you people are so talented who are in music. You had this great career when you were in Costa Rica. You were on the stage everywhere. You played for the universities. You played at the dance clubs in town. And in the 80s, you decided to come to the U.S. Why would you do that when you had such a big career there?
Well, I was always eager to learn more. And there were certain limitations in Costa Rica. We didn't have an orchestra to play what we were writing at the time.
Really?
Yeah, so what I decided to come out here as an adventure, and I went to the Dick Grove School of Music.
That was interesting because that was in the Valley, and
Yes.
you learned, what did you learn there? You were practicing?
Oh, no, I took the one of the roughest courses you could ever take.
And what was that?
It's called the CAP program. It's a composing and arranging program. And I would go to school from 10 in the morning to 10 at night.
Is that right?
Yes.
Were you prepared for that? I mean, you were already a musician.
Yes, yes, I was.
And did you think that you really needed this
Oh,
education too?
Dick taught me a lot. He taught me a lot. I mean, he is like a magician with the teaching tools.
Is that right?
Yes.
And then finally, you started your own band.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I wanted to do things my own way.
And that band that you started is still in existence today?
It is still in existence.
That's pretty great, isn't it? From the late 80s to now?
Yes, yes.
And did it always have the same name?
Yes, it had the same name, yes.
And it's called?
Opa Opa.
And Opa Opa to me sounds like a Greek Greek music.
Well, opa, in one of the meanings, comes from the Greek language, and it means hello, welcome, you know. But also I found out that the Koreans use it a lot.
They do that, use that word too?
Yes, they use it as a deference to an older brother or older relative. And then the Germans use it as o papa and o mama.
Oh yeah.
So they use it for short, opa, as grandfather.
Well, did you know all this when you named your band?
No.
How did you choose that name?
Well, the thing was that I was playing at a club, and the owner called me up, and he says, "I want you to come and play to my club." So I went, and we started playing, and it was 3 months that we were playing, but we didn't have a name. So one day he calls me into his office and said, "Well, we got to put a name to this band." So I started rattling out names and names and names, and he said, "No, that one's taken. No, that one's too ugly." So I said, "Well, I have one that is pretty close to me." And I said, "What is it?" I said, "It's Opa Opa." That's it.
That was it?
That was
and you
it.
named it and you stayed there. What kind of music do you play?
We play Latin salsa, salsa music.
Is it just for dancing?
Well, mainly it's for dancing, but
gonna show
sometimes we play concerts. Sometimes we play concerts just to listen, you know. People.
Are there lyrics to the music?
Oh yes, there is lyrics. There is lyrics, and there is instruments.
Look at how
there
great
is solos.
you look. Look at, I mean, all dressed up. Do you always perform like this?
Most of the times, yes.
Is it very formal, or is it?
Oh no, well. Now is the summertime, so we don't go like that everywhere. But to some formal gigs that we have, we go like that, even if it's hot.
And so, talking about the lyrics again, what are the lyrics? What are they for a dance band?
The lyrics are anything that that happens.
Are they romantic?
Some of them are romantic. Some of them are what you call this, like. Political, you
are
know.
They? Are activists in a way?
Yeah, polemical, you know. And some of them are just plain funny.
Do you write those?
I have one that is really funny.
Yes,
Yeah,
and like, is it on this album?
It is.
Is it on this CD? I'm going to
is.
show this because this is the new Opa Opa. What would that song be?
It's the number 3. And
It's number 3.
yeah, but I don't want to.
Oh, you can't say?
I don't want to get into this.
I like this. This is the beach,
Yes.
and then you have your trumpet up there. And what
Yes.
is the symbol? The crown. The crown
Oh,
symbol.
well, we're not kids.
Is that what it is?
that. So we're looking for like a classical look, you know, a classic look, this is like an old wine.
Oh, I
You see what I'm saying? That's the idea.
Have you ever written for films?
Yes, I was in this movie called Salsa that was done in the 88.
And you did
I
the music?
wrote one of the songs. Yes.
And
Yes,
is working for a film different from working on the stage
Oh, definitely.
or club music? What's the difference? What happens with club music when you're doing dance music or when you're on the stage performing?
Yeah. Well, the thing about movies is that you hurry up and wait.
Like this.
You know, in the club you have the audience and you just go at them, you know, with your music, and when they hear the music they get up and they move.
But then if you're doing a stage performance and they're seated watching you like you're doing a show,
They always dance.
they do they?
It doesn't matter where. I've been to the amphitheater, I've been to the Hollywood Bowl, and they always dance.
One of the things that, talking about all those venues, you've been on stage with really big names, Celia Cruz, I don't know,
Yes.
tell us who you've played with.
Well, Tito Puente,
Oh yeah.
one of my favorite people because he was very unique and very personable and very funny. So he had a lot of stories to tell.
Oh, well, so when you're working with him, you hear the stories backstage or on the...
Oh, no, we hang out until 7 o'clock in the morning.
All night long,
Yes.
huh? And who else?
Ruben Blades,
Oh, yeah.
Willie Colon, El Gran Combo, which is they are like my mentors, El Gran Combo de Puerto Rico.
Is your music the same? Your Costa Rican background, is Puerto Rican background kind of the same?
Well, my hometown is in the Caribbean. Okay.
Oh, so that has that beat?
I am from Puerto Limón, and that's in the Caribbean Sea. So we have all that influence. When I was a kid, I grew up listening to Benny Moré, all those great artists from Cuba.
I was going to say the Cuban artists.
Yes, my father had everything. He was a collectionist.
So that actually was influencing you without you realizing it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Before we leave, show us your trumpet. It's so beautiful. What do you look for? Do you look for an old trumpet, a new trumpet?
Well, this one is about 25 years old.
Is it better to have an old one or a new one?
Well, I guess a new one is okay.
But I mean, do you get a different sound? Do you get a better sound?
Yes, yeah, every trumpet sound different. I like the sound of this one. So I don't change it because I can make it dark and I can make it bright.
What does that mean? The way you
the way I
not
blow.
the way you blow.
Yes.
And then I see those are ivory.
Yes.
The key, what are they?
Yeah, the
Hold it up so we can see it. It's so beautiful.
pistons.
Those are ivory. So, are there different decorations on trumpets?
Oh yeah, The Dizzy Gillespie had one that went up like that.
Ah. And
Because-
you won't design one for yourself?
Oh well, someday if somebody asks me, I will.
So can you just go to a shop and buy a trumpet and play like Oswaldo?
Not really, not really. I have to practice a lot, like everybody else.
Do you? You still practice?
Oh yeah. Well, my teacher practices.